It has been almost a year since I made a video describing the 10 worst mistakes that you can make in this game. And now that we are going into the year 2022, I'm getting so old. We're going to update that list, the top 10 biggest mistakes that you can make in Blox Fruit. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab an hour of boosts. And I might even reach the max level while we're doing this. Who knows? Press like on today's video. Most of you who watch are not subscribed, so please subscribe to the channel and use code MAGIC when buying the Robux. Oh, I have the Butter Fruit. Oh, dear. Oh, I have the Buddy Sword. Oh, dear. Alrighty, so I might not even be able to defeat this boss given my current setup, but let's get into mistake number one. This one is really specific to like this video and because of what I've been doing on the channel recently. So for those of you who don't know, I spend a lot of time doing level 0 to level 700 and unlocking the second C with like a bunch of different fruits or swords or whatever it is. I do it with a lot of different things. But one of the biggest things that I've realized about this game is that people quit the game before they even reach the second C. Okay, this isn't gonna work. And honestly, quitting the game before reaching the second C, I'll be fully transparent with you right now. I love this game, but this game is garbage in the first C. You have so little fun in the first C. There's so much more to do in the second and third C. Your biggest priority as a new player should be getting to the second C as quickly as possible. Then you can think about everything else. Just get to level 700 before you quit the game, because I think quitting before you get to the second C is a big mistake, and more people are making it now that the game is more and more popular. People get into the game and they're like, oh, this is great. And they play for like 2-3 days. They get to like level 200. Trust me, if right now, if this is one of the first videos you watch as a new player to Blox Fruits, just get to the second C. You will love it. I've realized that I can't kill bosses. I need to use the world for examples so that my points make more sense. So next up, our second biggest mistake that people make is that is focusing way too much on fruits. For example, if you get the flame fruit, or if you get even the sand fruit or the dark fruit, the light fruit in particular would be a great one for you to get. Once you have a decent low gear fruit or a good grinding fruit, you should stop focusing on fruits. People spend way too much time trying to find them, trying to trade for them, trying to buy them from the cousin, and trying to level the masteries of multiple fruit. The only mastery fruit that you need at 600 is the light fruit. Get light as high as you can, level up as much as you can, try and get near max level before you start thinking about any other fruit in the game. And trust me, if you get to the third C, it is easier to get rare fruits in the third C than it is in the first or the second. So you should definitely do not focus on fruits too much. Pick one and use that to level up. This next one is one of my favorites, and people really resonated with this one last time. I'm going to put it out there because it's a big problem. Press like and comment down below if you forget to set your spawn when you go to a new island. Then you die for some reason, or you log out to hop servers, and suddenly you respawn on the wrong island. This tip can actually be extended. You should just learn how to use the spawn mechanic in the game. Remember to set your spawn when you're on a new island, or if you just did what I did, I came from the island I wanted to be on to change fruits. Now I can respawn and use the spawn point to my advantage to get back to where I need to go. Here I am. I didn't have to fly all the way back over here. Hooray me. Here is mistake number 4, and this is applying the incorrect stats in-game. Up until just a couple of days ago, I didn't even realize this, but I had changed my stats for a video. So my stats looked like this. I had maxed my devil fruit. I think I was being Sasuke. So I had something like 2,000, 2,000, but then I actually had more than 335. I had like 500 in sword, just because Sasuke uses a sword. It was a roleplay thing. I don't want to talk about it. But I played with these stats for like a week without even realizing that I had wasted all of these stat points. Hybrid builds do not really work in this game. what you should be doing is just maxing out the 3 main ones that you use. And they will always be melee, Blox Fruit, or sword or gun, depending on your primary source of damage. I use fruits. And then obviously everything else, which I should be able to max, but I'm not max level, should go into defense, because this is stamina, melee is stamina, defense is your HP, and then sword, gun, or Blox Fruit is your primary source of damage. You also get free melee damage for leveling up your stamina by leveling up the melee stats, so you should be doing that anyway. This next one is also very specific to today's video. If you are ever playing Blox Fruits, you need to consider what time of year it is. If it is Halloween or Christmas, like it is currently around the Christmassy time of year, there is going to be event currencies in the game, and a lot of people don't use them, and a lot of people should be... Oh, I have Logia? I do not have Logia. So when I kill this clown man, hopefully he's going to give me some currency. He gave me candies. A lot of players don't realize, especially if you're free to play, how incredibly powerful these event currencies can be. So right now, you can use candies. These have been in the game before, update 14, or they were added in 13, removed in 14, and now they're in update 17 again. You can buy an elf hat, a Santa hat, and the sleigh, which is a boat. You probably don't need that. The Santa hat is a decent cosmetic item. It gives you 30% faster run speed, 12% more damage for your Blox Fruit and your sword, and 400 energy and 400 health. It's pretty good, especially for sword mains, apparently. But the next ones are sort of the really, really important ones. The magical elf, who trades candies for things like 15 minutes of XP, stat refunds, and race rerolls. If you don't have the race that you want, and by that I mean if you are the normal race, if you're not the max level, you should probably get Mink, because it makes traveling easier, it makes getting quests easier, it makes leveling easier. And then when it comes to PvPing, if you're free to play, this is one of the easiest ways to get a race reroll. This is one of the easiest way to get a stat refund. The 2 times XP is not really that big of a deal. You could trade your leftovers for fragments if you want, or if you've been a good boy and or girl and you haven't been wasting your time, grinding fruits, like focusing on the fruits like I said, you can actually trade your candies to get random fruits, which is also pretty awesome because fruit grinding is not something that should get in the way of your leveling up. And this way, you actually can buy fruits whilst leveling up, which is awesome. The next one I am very, very guilty of, especially when it was added into the game. It's this one, like, let's just say, if you're in the first sea, or if you're under level 200, you do not need to be doing this. You should not be wasting money on the Blox Fruits dealer's cousin, especially if you're in the first sea, because at least in the second sea, no matter what fruit you get, unless your inventory is maxed, you can store that fruit for later on for trading or for you to use. Do not waste all of your money on the cousin. You need to be buying your melee upgrades. You need to unlock all your abilities like hockey and stuff like that. They're not actually difficult to unlock, but you do need a lot of in-game money to get some of the later on stuff. You want to get the true 3-sword style, then you've got to buy the Coco and the 2 other ones, whatever they're called, like Sadi and Shui. I can't remember how to say it. Oh, people are gonna hate that. They all cost like $1 million or more belly each. You need to be saving up your money while you're in the first sea. Do not waste it buying devil fruits every day, especially if you spend more than you make in a single play session. If you log on once a day just to buy a fruit, eventually you're just gonna run out of money. You got to be grinding to replenish that money. All right, this next one is a pretty big deal because if you don't do this, you are playing the game so wrong. Right now, I got a boss on my screen, which is great for me because I can defeat it. I don't have the quest in order to gain lots of XP. But after you defeat the boss, you've got to wait like 30 minutes to an hour in order for them to respawn, which feels like a massive waste of time. And it really, really slows down your EXP gains because some people are very silly and they don't server hop after defeating a boss. So once I kill this boss, all I would do is join a new public server, which is gonna have a new boss spawned on. And if it doesn't, I just change servers again until I find a server that does have the boss, because that's the fastest way to level up, is to server hop and farm bosses. Do not wait for bosses to respawn. It's a big mistake that people make, and it will seriously slow you down if you make it. All right, since I'm in the middle of this fight, I'm going to go over a tip as well. I'm going to skip one tip and go over this tip because it makes more sense here. A lot of players, when they're starting off especially, you're mostly leveling up, say, your Blox Fruit stat, or if you're a sword main, you're leveling up your sword stat, and you neglect your other free source of damage, which is melee. Don't sit on melee. Melee is actually really good. A lot of people will spend all their time trying to get the best fruit they can get because, let's face it, fruits are more exciting, but you need to also have a good melee ability. You need to be using whatever the best is for the seed that you are in, and it will seriously increase your damage. You're missing out on so much free damage if you are not using your melee style as well. I was one of those people. I used like combat for the longest time. I did not bother leveling it up because I had the light fruit, and the light fruit seemed overpowered. But if I had just bought like blackleg or water kung fu to go with my light fruit, I could have killed things so much faster, especially bosses. Alrighty guys, up next, and this is definitely something that I think people get confused on, and that is not using a leveling guide. There is the Tubs leveling guide. It's not super detailed, but it is very helpful. You could just go to, say, Frozen Village if you're level 90 or whatever, or you can plan ahead and see what you need. But this basically gives you an idea of what you can and cannot do. Like, for example, how many people don't know that you should skip snowmen when you're on the Frozen Village? I always skip snowmen. They are horrible to grind. And this guide is what taught me that. And finally, let's get the last number 10 out of the way. And that is players who fail to use grinding fruits. Now, I never would have expected Soul to be a grinding fruit, but it's actually pretty decent for grinding. But I'm talking about people who, like, you waste way too much time trying to get a good fruit. You're level 300. You get the dragon fruit. It's like, hooray! You've got one of the strongest fruits in the game. You also have the slowest grinding fruit in the game. So now it's like, you're level 300 with the dragon fruit. There's nothing you can do with it. You need the light fruit, or the dark fruit, or rumble, or flame. So many other fruits that can power your leveling through to get you as strong as possible. I'm telling you that most players should be aiming to at least be level 2000 before they start worrying about things like the dragon fruit or the control fruit. Or, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a lower level PvP scene. At least get to a point where you know that you can compete with the other people that are PvPing in the same area as you. Alrighty guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. This was a short one. Some things have happened. My mouth really hurts because I got, well, basically attacked by a cat. Even though they were attacking each other, I tweeted about it. Check out my Twitter. It's in the description, along with my Instagram, my TikTok, my Discord, all of those things. If you make any of these mistakes, let me know in the comment section down below, and I might even give you a love heart of solidarity so that we can feel bad together. Thanks for watching. Use code MAGIC, press like, subscribe, all them good things, and I will see you all next time.